Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Got a few minutes here, so just kind of wait around and wait for some good questions. You guys usually have some excellent questions, so I'm always enjoy those. Simba, hello. How are you doing? Kenneth, how's it going there, brother? Hotep. I see you've been busy on that course, Kenneth. Man, you went through that thing pretty quick. How you doing, Cedric? Hotep. Hey, I appreciate it, Kenneth. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I think it's a pretty good course, man. I think it really lays a good foundation for the Kemetic knowledge. So, the thing that's going now is my class. So that's actually taking that Kemetic knowledge to the next level. Let me see if my moderator is going to be here today. So I talked to her already. Byron, how are you doing? Hotep, all the way from the UK, across the pond. All right, Simba, glad to have you here, man. Yeah, I tell you, I really enjoy studying it and learning this knowledge, but not only just studying and learning it, is actually applying it in my life too. So that's why a lot of this stuff is so important for me, and I'm so passionate about it. That it's really about us putting this stuff together and making things better for us. So that's really what a lot of this, what the Bible stuff was about. It was really instructions, and what ended up happening to us is we got something sent to us that just it was all twisted up. Hey, baby girl, there's my daughter, Vo Vibe. She's here, my moderator. What's going on, moderator? So yeah, so it's straight up 12 o'clock. Well, actually now it's 12:01. So definitely, Stephen, how you doing, man? How you doing? Say, Stephen, I know you had talked about you wanted to get a reading, so one of the birth chart readings from my daughter. So there she is. You can ask her about your birthday deal. Can she help you with that? So yeah. So Vo Vibes is her. So that's my daughter there. She's the one who does the readings. So definitely. Bianchi, how you doing, brother? Hotel. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, this stuff here is really, like I said, it's fascinating. And really, guys, what a lot of what I'm explaining on those videos, I'm breaking down the Christian stuff a lot of times, but man, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I get so tired of people wanting to fight over whether or not Jesus is real. It just is really understanding what this information is about, because whether or not, and really, if you think about it, what people are talking about when they say Jesus is real is they're really talking about their experience, and it's their inner experience. And it's really not about whether or not the man walked on the earth. It's about what you experience. And as people who have been Christian have been taught to think that everything that they're all of their inner experience is about Jesus. That is something that happened either because you are connected to Jesus, you supposedly know Jesus, or you're connected to Christianity, and that's just not the truth. It's all of us have spiritual experiences. We are souls having a human experience. So there's no one way that a person's experience or inner experience should be defined. And that's really what Christianity is doing. It's saying that, if you have this experience, then it's because of Jesus. Anything else is probably because of the devil, So that stuff is limiting, very limiting. Information, good to see you. Good to see you. M2222, blessings, my brother. How you doing? Jabbar, see you here, brother. How's it going? How you doing? So yeah, so if you guys, we're here for as long as you got some questions. Hey, I'm here to answer. Let's see. It's different. Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to even follow the lessons, if you're not going to even practice the stuff, and really and truly, Christianity kind of puts you in a contradictory state where you're having to fight against yourself. A lot of times. I mean, let's just take our sexuality. Sex is one of the most enjoyable aspects of being human, for us normal functioning people. But Christianity has told us that sex is sinful unless you have a marriage license, basically. Who came up with that idea and why? And that's one of the things I talk about in my course is why did the idea even come up that you needed to be married before you had sex? Because ultimately, your experience is no different whether you have a marriage license or not. So it's more about your connection with that individual. So a lot of that stuff is just it's so arbitrary. If you do this, have sex when you're married is good. If you have sex when you're not married, that's a bad thing. That's just an arbitrary idea. So all these ideas about morality. We were talking about that the last week about morality. A lot of the stuff is just so arbitrary that you end up turning in on yourself. So it's ridiculous. So yeah. So any questions, anybody? We're just gonna hang out for a little while. I can do that too. Is meditation a part of knowing yourself and understanding? And do you have any info on the process? So, and this is one thing about that you'll begin to understand about me, Kenneth, is that I don't follow like the travel roads of you should do things this way, you shouldn't do things that way, because ultimately, as souls, we experience things different ways. And there's a multitude of ways to experience our inner self. And meditation is good. You should always have quiet time where you're really just sitting and just being with yourself. That's definitely important. Now, as far as meditation is concerned, people's idea of just sitting up and going, that's fine for me. So usually when I'm meditating, I'm sitting quiet, but I'm visualizing. So and I'm usually visualizing, and one of the reasons that I visualize is because it's very important to creating your reality. So you're literally, and that's what a lot of people don't understand what imagination is and visualizations are. You're literally getting previews from the universe. That's how powerful that is, and you're not even able to connect to the visualization if it's not possible. I just said something right there, guys. That's deep. If you can't visualize it, then it's not possible. But if you can visualize it, it is. But the thing is you have to reach that level of vibration or that level of being in order to become that you visualize. That's deep, man. Dr. Dennis, peace, my brother. Let's see. This woman is a whore. Yeah, man is on the sex thing, Kenneth. Yeah, a double standard all the time. Sisters, I'm telling you, Christianity has done for women. Christianity just keeps women in bondage in so many ways, and it makes women literally fit their lives around the gaze of men. In other words, you have to live your whole life basically trying to impress a man so that he can marry you. He can find you good wifey material, as if that's your highest station in life. And I know a lot of women have accepted that idea. But what if you don't? Is something wrong with you? No. You know, so it's about, you know, what's important for you. And a lot of times what these religions have done is just really made women second class citizens. And a woman that is really like intelligent, strong, and you know, got a lot of things going on, uh it's like you're supposed to all of a sudden be submissive to somebody, you know, because you're a woman. Hell no. You know, that kind of, that's crap, you know. But that is, you know, religion for you. Shelby, how you doing? Hotep from Virginia. All right. Good to have you here. Africa. How do you start your spiritual journey? Arise Africa, you're already on your spiritual journey. You've already started. So you never were not on it. So basically, what you have to do is recognize that it is a journey and that it's something that is relevant for you. You know, what life experiences are relevant for you? What spiritual experiences are relevant for you? You know, so your journey is your journey. It's unique, and I'm telling you, just you being here today means that you're already on your journey because you're searching for something, and that's really what being on a spiritual journey is you're seeking. Jabbar, we're gonna have to say that for class, brother. That's for you. You got something for you on that one. So we can definitely we can talk about that inside the portal. So that'll be class stuff that we'll talk about. Yep, yep. Okay, right. That was already. So Christianity is a veil construct of modern day slavery. Yeah, I agree, Dr. Dennis. So Christianity is a veiled construct of modern days. It's been an arm of white supremacy and racism. You know, plain and simple. That's what it's been. And Christianity, wherever Christianity has gone, people of color have suffered on some level wherever it has gone. And if anybody can say no to that, they're either dumb or stupid. So you know, no two ways about that one. So Christianity is basically it has subjugated anybody that has not been a white male has suffered at the hands of Christianity on some level. You good, Jabbar? You good? Just understand, hey man, you pay for something special, so you get the extra. So we go deep. Let's see. Can we have the info? Yeah, Dozier, you go to beyondthephysical.me. So beyondthephysical.me. So that's the website that you go to. So I can just type that in. So class registration is open now for the next 2 weeks, and then I'm closing it. So beyondthephysical.me. So I'm getting ready to me and another young man. We're getting ready to partner up. We're getting ready to do some things too, where we're going to be bringing some wealth teaching to Kemetic centered living. So we're going to have a whole another level. So not only are we going to take care of the spiritual aspect and your journey, but it's about also bringing wealth and bringing ideas and bringing a whole different mindset. Because really and truly, guys, we have such a limited idea of who we are, and we have such a limited mindset. We don't recognize a lot of times how the limitations. Because if you think about it, most of us think about we can go and find a job and we can go and punch somebody's clock. We're okay. But wealth cannot be built from working for somebody. It never will be. It never has. So you got to think about when you're working for somebody, you're literally being paid wholesale, and you're trying to live retail, buying everything retail. They're paying the least amount of what it can keep you to have a job, you know? So we should be thinking about building building our communities around, real estate, finances, banking, cryptocurrency. That's going to be that's a big one that a lot of people still have not caught on to yet. Cryptocurrency is getting ready to change the world. So, but that's anyway. That's another thing. That's outside of the Kemetic stuff. But we're bringing that. We're bringing that. Sure thing, Dozier. Thank you for asking. Is the Kemetic tree of life an important tool? Is the Kemetic tree of life? Excuse me. All that is the netters, Kenneth. So understand that a lot of this stuff that we put it into these different pots. But if one of the videos I actually connected the Kabbalah and the Kemetic netters, the Grand Enid, all that is the Kemetic tree of life. So just how those Enid, how those netters interact with reality. So the tree of life is how those things bring reality into being, is what that is. So it's so is it an important tool? Yeah, because it's just part of reality. It couldn't exist without it. But that's where, again, I try to take the veil off of a lot of this stuff, because we think because it's named something different, that is something different that we got to go learn, when a lot of times we're already doing it. Okay? Spirituality is not hard. I don't care what anybody says. Being spiritual is not hard. It's just about being you, and you being okay with you. And that's where most people have a problem with. They're not okay with themselves, and they're looking for validation in other places. Let's see, I'm so excited to have it. Well, thank you, Shelby. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, for sure. So yeah. So the Kemetic tree of life, and one of the other things I think I don't know, did I share, guys? There's sometimes this information runs together on me, because I do so many different things, but I know that I had talked about like the Trinity. So we as Christians, we worship the Trinity, but in reality, the Trinity is simply a formula. And we've talked about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, if you break it down in today's terms, what that's referencing, and if you understand the Kemetic stuff, then you understand that the Father is literally the Ka. Okay, it is sound that forms anything. Okay, so in other words, vibration is the organizing principle of the universe. The Ka is nothing but spirit that's been compacted into some type of form. Okay, so when we're talking about, and today, what we call spirit, the same thing is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is spirit. But spirit and energy are the same exact things. They're just talked about. It's just the language is just different. And we think because you say energy in science and you say spirit in religion and spirituality, that they're two different things. But conceptually, they talk about them in the same exact way. So spirit, if you listen to science, everything is energy. Okay. If you listen to science, everything vibrates. Okay. So they're the same thing. E equals MC squared. It's saying that energy, mass, and light are the same thing. Okay. So breaking it down. Let's see, the Netter rule, spiritual principles. The Netter rule are the Netter. Just think of netters and nature as the same thing, Shelby. So netter and nature are the same things. So do you possess nature, or are you a part of nature? Okay. So that's really the question that you're asking. So you are nature. You're a part of nature, and that's how the ancient Africans looked at it. Okay. So yes, you're a part of it. Okay. So yes, energy Emotions are energy emotions. That's how we. That's how we register vibration, or how we register the levels of vibration within us. Our emotions are that. Okay. Is Ra Ptah and Ma'at the missing tree from the group of 9 following Atum, etc.? Or is it Heru? Okay, so good question. So you think of those three netters as, how can I explain this? Okay, I'll use an analogy. Say, Shelby, I'll use you. Okay, just say Shelby. Let's say Shelby is a doctor, a little league coach for her daughter, and she's also the a business owner. Okay, so those are three aspects of Shelby, but she's one person. So you think of Ra Ptah and Ma'at is actually kind of off to the side. But Amun, Ra, and Ptah are three aspects of one. So it's just saying in this aspect, in the Amun aspect, maybe Amun is the football coach. In the Ra aspect, Amun might be the business owner. And in the Ptah aspect, Amun is the mother. Okay, and I'm just using that as a loose analogy, but it's three aspects of the same thing. Okay, so they're not. So when they talk about Ma'at, literally Ma'at was born. They call Ma'at. If you think about it, Ma'at is one of the only netters that don't have a consort or a male consort. You know, so Ma'at was born or is called the daughter of Ra. Okay, and Ma'at is literally what we today call consciousness. Okay, so that's what Ma'at is. So consciousness can really be defined, but aspects of Ma'at are really living aware. You know, so when we live aware and when we do connect with our higher self, we live in a balanced state where we're not too high, not too low. So we don't live through our fear and stuff like that. So that's where you hear Ma'at talking about being living in balance. When they said Ma'at is the truth, think of this. So from a Kemetic perspective, our subjective inner life is our truth. Okay. So they also have a saying that all truths are half true. Well, what does that mean? Well, if there's another person in your experience, you have a truth and then they have a truth. There's one half of the truth, but they're from different perspectives. Okay. So, but Ma'at being also symbolized as a feminine netter. Feminine has what we call it's a functional equivalent. And when I say a functional equivalent, what that means is that when you see that particular symbol anywhere in the Kemetic pantheon or anywhere in the Kemetic symbolism, a functional equivalent means that it functions the same way no matter what level that it's on. Okay? So when we're talking about a feminine netter, okay, ancient Africans used anthropomorphic language to express metaphysical ideas. So when we're talking about feminine, most people think that feminine means female. Well, it doesn't, because a man has a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect, and so does a female. So when we're talking about a feminine aspect, they use anthropomorphic language to describe, say, to describe the feminine aspect. It was female parts or body parts that would express what is feminine. So it would be the womb of a woman that would express something that is within us, something that can be born from within us. anything that can be created has to be birthed. And where does that birth come from? Okay, from a woman, it comes from within. From God, everything that is created came from within God. If it didn't, then there's another God in another county creating something else. Okay, so Ma'at as consciousness, in order to connect to Ma'at, guess where we have to go to do that? We have to go within. Okay, so when we're talking about a functional equivalent and Ma'at as a feminine netter, that means that Ma'at is something that is within us, that we have to go within, and that's our feminine aspect for all of us. Is that when we go in, and Kenneth was asking about meditation earlier. When you're going in meditation, you're going within yourself. That's when you're tapping into your feminine aspect, literally. And if you're going to bring anything to life, into reality, you're literally birthing it from your inner self. You're literally creating it from your thoughts. Okay. See, Dr. Dennis, could it be said that scriptures, these principles on Neteru are described as brethren, and those brethren must be in unity, or you must have developed control or proper use of these principles? When you're saying that could it be described as brethren, you have to probably get a little bit more detailed on me on that. When you how do you see brethren? Okay. See, I understand my aunt and her root, but I get confused over the function of the different netters. Could you expound on Tehuti, Anubis, or Serket? I thought Maat's consort was Tahuti. Maat's consort as Tahuti just means that as our outwardly projecting consciousness, okay, our outwardly projecting reality, it's formed from Ma'at. And Terhudi or Jehudi, okay, Thoth, is basically the human, it's the netter of the human mind. So in other words, how can I explain netters? Because we get so confused when we start using the idea of netters, because we think there's something, again, different than what they are. We think that they're entities in themselves. But Jehudi or Tahuti is simply the human mind. Okay, that's what that netter means. Okay, let's see, what was another one? Anubis. Okay, Anubis is the guide. Okay, we have guides in the spiritual world that guides us. Okay, Anubis and An. Okay, in the Bible, or the name An is where the name John, the English name John's, came from. So Anubis, okay, that simply means a guide. So don't think of the netters as entities. Think about how nature functions, and then you can apply the entity to, or the netter to that entity or to that function of nature. That's a better way to do it, rather than trying to think of and place these netters in like they're different people or entities or whatever. So like Heru is simply when a person becomes enlightened. It's that instant of enlightenment. Okay? Like you go, oh, now I get it. That's Heru. That's the function. Okay? And it's no more difficult than that. All right? Let's see. Is reincarnation the reason why we did mummification? Is the Osiris resurrection the basis of reincarnation? I ask these because reincarnation was taken out of early Christianity teaches. Well, it was reincarnation was countertaken, and that's what Tutum Ra Keperu. So he asks, is reincarnation the reason why we did mummification? Yes, and I understand that it was a symbolic gesture. So the whole idea of mummification, and this is what the ancient Africans did, was their whole life was built around symbolic expression. Okay, and everything was symbolic of the one in some kind of way. All right. So when you think of Osiris, what the function of Osiris and what Osiris is the aspect of the soul that is immersed in the human body. Okay? That's Osiris. It's the aspect of the soul that's immersed in the human body. Well, the symbolically speaking, guess what the bandages represented? The bandages that represented it represented the body, which is seamless, as they would say. So they would literally wrap the body, the dead body, okay, and they would wrap it up. And sometimes they said that those wraps could be like 1,000 yards long. But symbolically, it meant that that mummy was now the wrap is the actual body that the Osiris was in. So Osiris is the seed of divinity that is trapped within us until it becomes realized. At that point, it's called Sokar. Okay, so Sokar is the actual spiritualized human being, and you'll see Sokar has the head of a falcon, just like Horus, which that connects them. That means Horus and Sokar are connected. Okay, let's see. I was assuming there is a special 12 that was stolen and represented as disciples. The special 12, no, the 12 disciples are just the 12 aspects of our personality. And they literally are 12. I'm telling you, is that again, it's that simple. It's just the 12 aspects of our personality on one level. Okay. So again, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Contact, where the lady Jodie Foster went to see the guy who figured out what the symbolism was that the aliens had sent, and how they use symbolism like in a 3D fashion, to where the symbolism was like on different levels and different things. That's how the Africans use the symbols. So I could talk about one aspect of a symbol one way, but it could mean something totally different. Okay, let's see. Let's see, the laws exist. Yes, Shelby. So the laws do exist inside. They exist inside of us, around us. They are us, and that's where we can actually interact with these laws. And that's where I say a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is really the tip of the iceberg. We get stuck on these ideas, but it's really how can you use them in your life. So that's that's the things that I like to connect with, is how do you use them in your life. And that's something that I do with my classes, is how do you make these things practical. Let's see, the longer we are afraid to die, the longer we will reincarnate into this world of white supremacy. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we shall die. Okay, all right. So, and it's not just being afraid to die. Okay, it's really about not living life through your fears. And as Black people, we have been taught to do that, and not just even as Black people, really humanity. If you think about all the isms that we deal with, is about people's fears of somebody else or something, you know. So that's an ego-based physical reality that really the teachings of the Bible and the teachings of Christ and stuff like that is about you uplifting yourself to a level to where you don't let fear move you. Okay, let's see. Let's see, not male. Dr. Dennis, let's see, not male. We understand patriarchy being pushed. But for example, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity? This is a Bible scripture, speaks of inner workings. Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess in that sense, it could be, we can dwell together on a level of, just telekinetic level, just not telekinetic, what's telepathic, okay? That we automatically connect with each other telepathically, and I guess we can commiserate with each other there as well. Let's see. I'm curious if you're familiar with the Jesus Mystery by Tim Freaky. I've heard of it. I hadn't read it. So the same conclusions about Jesus being a spiritual man. Yeah, if you to keep it, if you get into this knowledge, then you'll see plainly that Jesus is nothing but a metaphor of spiritual information. So that's all it is. And it really when Christianity historicized Jesus, Christianity literally ripped away a lot of these deep teachings that we could use for ourselves, you know. So yes, Timothy Freaky says that. So uh, who's another one? Gerald Massey. A lot of people are discovering that now, that Jesus is simply a metaphor. Even the name Jesus didn't even exist until about 400 years ago. So you can get back and connect all this stuff. Immortal. Let's see. Like people. Okay, the 12 disciples. 12 disciples is the 12 zodiac signs. Yes, they are. So again, it's just another level, another metaphor. So the 12 disciples are the 12 zodiac signs. I talked about on my last video Judas, and Judas being Scorpio. And I wasn't trying to slander Scorpios. I'm a Scorpio. But Judas was Scorpio, and on the astrological level, the Scorpio's in October when days start to become shorter than night. Okay, so and scorpions, a scorpion sting, I'm told, looks like a kiss, like two lips. Okay, so how did Judas recognize Jesus, or how did he give him away? He kissed him. Okay, and that started Jesus's or the Son's journey to its death. Okay, so that's how that has or how that works. Okay, Benu, you say you have a question. Can you see the waters of noon? No, you can't see the waters of noon are theoretical. So when we're talking about the noon, that you got to think about, this was the ancient Africans theorizing about what eternity was like before the Big Bang. I guess we can just call it the Big Bang. Okay, Benu, if you believe that, then you go ahead with it then. I don't want to argue with anybody. Did you release a date? I thought you had a question. If you already had the answer, I don't know why you asked me. Release a date for when finding your life purpose through clarity of mind and connected to soul, coming soon. Yeah, Jabbar. So the course is weekly. So I'm releasing each week. So those are going to be, so next week there'll be something new, a new unit that you'll study. So this week you have a unit, and then you have something that you need to do with that. Uh, okay, Benu, you don't need to check my integrity. Check yours. Don't worry about mine. So you can go on about your business. Uh, yeah, it's itching. I think it needs to trigger. Oh man. But anyway, uh, yeah, trigger. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Where was I? Let's see. Let me get back. Which was like open. Wait, see. Did our ancestors believe in heaven? Did our ancestors believe in heaven and hell? No, they did not. So that was heaven and hell is actually created here on earth, and that's what they taught. So the idea of hell and all of that, going to hell, there was never anything taught like that. The idea of devils and all of this kind of stuff, that is a totally European construction. Okay, so heaven and hell is not a place that you go to for eternity, to rest or to burn. No, you get to live. You live cycles of life, and that's one of the things that Osiris represents. It's a cycle of recycling life over and over. Once you die, You have a basically like a checkup, a soul checkup, and then you get a chance to live another life. That's what salvation is. That's what it was to our ancestors. Salvation was not being saved from hell. It was getting the ability to live another life, and you did that through knowledge and learning. Let's see. Really stable. So, Jabbar, did I answer your question? Did I answer your question about the course when that part would be released? So it's probably that part course or that part was probably going to be like another 6 weeks away. Okay. Is the Bible partially plagiarized or completely? So I wouldn't say plagiarized necessarily the Bible, and what they did was they reformulated a lot of these ideas. So the Greeks took what they understood and then they put it in really coded language, because the Bible, the language or the information that's in the Bible was never supposed to be for the public. It was for initiates into the mystery systems. Okay. But when the Greeks put it into a Bible and wrote it down, they literally broke from the African traditions of a lot of this information being passed along orally. Okay. So the Bible, in that sense, is it plagiarized? Is the knowledge plagiarized in a way? But it's still coded. But we look at the knowledge in an exoteric level, and have been taught to look at it as history when it's not. Let's see. How can we gain and condition our psychic powers as ancestors? All right, Christine, Chris Shanti Rowe. Yeah, you have to come to my class to get that one. Come to my class. But yeah, but there's different ways, Krishante, that you can do that, and really, it's something that, because that's a question that you're asking, I'll bet $2 to $1 that you're already connecting with them, but you've been taught to think about connecting with them in a certain way. And what you have to do is allow yourself to connect with whatever that knowledge and information that comes to you. You have to allow yourself to connect with it in a way that's comfortable and right for you. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, this is the way, well, you have to connect to the ancestors this way or that way. No, you find out your way to do it. Okay. Shelby, you said means of manipulation. You had a question there. I didn't quite catch that. I'm still trying to keep up with this. No, Jabbar. So the class just actually opened yesterday, Jabbar. So no, you're right on time, brother. You're right on time. Like I said, it's only going to be open for 2 weeks. Okay. All right, Charlotte Shar. Hello, how are you? See, what about the judgment hall scene with the crocodile and the heart being weighed against the feather of Ma? That's a great question, Cedric. So Cedric Taylor asked about the judgment hall scene. And this is, again, we got to think about things as natural as happening in nature. So if you remember, Osiris is called the judge, okay? And then in the Kemetic way of thinking, we think of like lead and gold. Excuse me. We think of like lead and gold, and how lead has to be used to separate the impurities from gold. Okay, the thing that we want. Well, the impure thing is the judge of the impurities or the pure. Okay, so our soul of Osiris is actually the thing that is within our physical that becomes the judge for what we know as pure or impure. Okay, so the judge scene is simply the weighing of the feather, the weighing of the heart. It could be a really simple metaphor for, did you live life lighthearted? You got a feather on one side, you got a heart on the other. Did you live life lighthearted? Okay, that could be one level of knowledge with it. The crocodile is like, oh man, let's see. The crocodile is like, it's like constriction, or it symbolizes constriction and tightness because of that strong tail. So the crocodile is literally like something constricting you. Okay, so that's one level of what that symbol could mean. So understand a lot of these symbols too are literally. So I'm an old dude, so y'all might not have ever seen the game Password or the old game Password, but you'd have somebody sitting over across a table, and they'll be talking, be trying to give. One person's giving clues, and one person's the clue receiving the clues. Well, the symbols that we know are giving us the clues, and we're the receiver. But the clues are deciphered from the level of the receiver. Okay. So when I'm talking about like a lighthearted, living life lighthearted or not, okay, the feather and the heart, okay, that's one level of the symbol. But for somebody else, it could mean something else. There is a part of the on top of the scale called the Tek, TEK, that literally talks about, have you gotten or let's see, the Tek is kind of hard to explain, but it's literally, are you satiated? Have you gotten enough of whatever the physical life is? And that Tek is part of, also you hear the name Sutek, okay, which is connected to Set. So Sutek is basically saying, did you get enough of whatever you were supposed to in life? Okay, are you satiated? Do you have too much? So it has a lot of different things. What I think of the negative confessions of my eye. For me, I have never seen those, and negative confessions don't make sense to me on a universal law perspective. So I'm not saying that it's not possible that those aren't real, but the negative confessions in the universe, negative. If you negatively say something, the universe doesn't hear, I don't want to be poor. The universe doesn't hear, I don't. Okay, so to make a negative confession means you're putting out to the universe exactly what the universe is going to bring to you. So I don't want, or I don't want this or whatever. You don't focus on what you don't want. You focus on what you want. So the negative confessions to me are, I don't subscribe to that. But that's me. That's from my perspective and from my level of knowledge. Okay, somebody else might could see that totally different, and it could be very valid. But for me, it's not. Information or object stolen from Kemetic, from your knowledge, must be that important to be hidden from us so long. What do you inject that they may have? Yeah, Jabbar, that's what I'm teaching, brother. So yeah, so Jabbar said the Kemetic information was stolen. You got to think back in the old days, back in the times of the Greeks and the Romans. Ancient Egypt was the Holy Land for the world. There was a reason for that. That information was valuable. So there was a reason that people wanted that information to be the path to ancient Egypt. Okay. Well, what is that information? We fight so much over whether or not Jesus is real. We ain't even got to what was the information about. What were they trying to teach us? Okay. So there's a whole lot important, and I said earlier, what I'm talking about most days on the videos, it's the tip of the iceberg. Man, you guys think about reincarnation. And y'all think of reincarnation as linear. Okay, you die, then you live, then you die, then you live. Guys, that's not how it really works. In reality, everything that exists right now. So you talking about a past life? It's really not a past life. It's just a different perspective of the present. That's going a little bit deep right there. But yeah, it's though a lot of times the ideas that we have are based on linear thinking, and the universe is not linear. It doesn't exist that way. That's why heaven and hell don't make any sense, because you are living. Part of your soul is literally living in a past life right now. Part of your soul is literally living in your past right now. Part of your soul is in the future right now. So anything that's possible can be. Okay. So it's like your past life could do something. If you think like the way that Christianity has taught us in a linear fashion, your past life could do something that could send your future life to hell for. Okay. So it just doesn't work that way. So our linear idea, we are multi-dimensional beings. If you think about it, even like for instance, dreaming. When you dream, you literally dream symbolically, because it's on so many levels of the aspect of your soul that dreams are connecting with. That's why dreams can be so cryptic, because one symbol can have different meanings to a different aspect of your soul on many different levels. Okay, at any time. So yeah, you can tap into different lives, guys. You can, and again, this is stuff that I'm teaching, in class. But there's a technique that I use all the time, that I tap into a future part of myself. Okay, if I want to learn something that I'm struggling with, I tap into my future self. Okay. I've said this before. I was an ancient Egyptian priest. Okay, and that's why a lot of this stuff becomes so simple for me to be able to learn and then explain, because I've had experience with it before. I have experience in a past life right now that I can tap into. Okay. How does a love for math help in my Kemetic search? Because the foundation of everything Kemetic is math. Everything, the numbers. If the numerology, that's the way the ancient Africans said that everything was number, and how the numbers interacted with each other. The myths are explaining and expressing numerology. That's all they're doing. And what we've done is, in Christianity, is turn the numerology into history. Okay. So let's see. My dreams are so detailed. You say your dreams, Shelby, your dreams are detailed. I smell, feel. Yeah. And that's because in those dreams, you're literally experiencing that stuff. So your consciousness can travel in places that your physical body can't. So you're literally experiencing that in your dreams. That it's not make believe. It's not hallucination. If you want to know what death is like when you die, just pay attention to your dreams. That's literally when you're not physical. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that donation. I really do. Thank you very much. You're when you're dreaming, that's what it's like when you die, when you're disconnected from your physical body, your consciousness is. Is it possible to accidentally tap into your future self? Absolutely, it's possible, accidentally possible. Or it's possible to accidentally do it. You'd probably do it so much anyway that you just think it's normal. And that's where a lot of people, there's so many of these things that we do that are so normal, we don't think about what it really is. So let me closer to Kemetic connection. I can believe that. I can believe it because all this stuff is connected. Can you explain the purpose of Geb and Nut and the water separated from and separated? Yeah, actually, Dr. Dennis, I did that on one of my videos. I did a video on Geb and Nut and talking about that. But basically, that is really talking about the Grand Enid and how, and it's really based on numerology. Okay, but let's see. Man, now I just drew a blank. Uh, what's the first two that came out of Atum? Shu and Tefnut. Okay, so Shu, Tefnut, and Geb are literally the four foundational elements of creation. Okay, so and they are part of the nine Enid. Okay, so the Grand Enid, which is Atum at the top, and then you got Isis, Nephthys, Osiris, and Set at the bottom, at the nine. Well, those nine, if you make a triangle with those nine, in the middle is one. Okay, that is the one, meaning that that's Atum that is in the middle of everything. Well, if you look at some of the, man, I wish I could show you a picture of it. But if you look at the pictures of the Grand Enid, you'll see symbolized. You'll see Shu, Tefnut, Geb, and Nut, and then you'll see like a middle part that's missing between Geb and Tefnut, or Geb and Nut. Okay, that's actually spirit raised to the next level is where that's coming from. And it's hard to explain, but when you get into the numerology, you have the number one, you have 0 through 9, okay? And then 10 is actually spirit manifested, okay? That 10 is the one that's in the middle. And that's actually talking about Shu's secret name as spirit, okay? Which is essentially connected to Ra. More so when you align with the truth. Okay. You were speaking on the masculine and feminine number system. Can you elaborate more on the number 2, and can it connect to a birthday? Well, just in the Kemetic system, the number 2 just means duality, and any even number is feminine. Okay, so any even number is feminine because basically feminine is non-reactive. Okay, so it's balanced. All right, and the odd numbers are male, meaning that they're not balanced, so they're active. Okay, and they have to connect with something in order to become balanced in a sense. Okay, so but the number 2 is just duality, meaning that there has to be, in order for us to experience our reality, there has to be polar opposites. Okay, so it's like understand we cannot have experience without its opposite. It's like trying to clap with one hand. Okay, you can't do it. Okay, we need that opposite in order to have the experience of clapping. Okay, and that's all the number 2 is, and that's a foundation of it. So, Shelby, you see 222? Yep, that's a master number. So that's how the angels can communicate with you. My mother, who is an ancestor in my dreams, yeah, you can communicate with your mother in your dreams, and your mother probably does already. So a lot of times you might not even see who it is, but you know how your mother felt, and you can feel your mother, and you know it's your mother because of the way that you feel in your dreams. Wow, Stephen, thank you, man. Quantum jump. Woo! Stephen gave $100. Hold on, I got, man. Good grief! Thank you. That's on and popping right there. So thank you very much. Hold on, let me get that brother some woo. All right, I appreciate that. But Shelby is a Gemini. Oh dang, she's a Gemini. Okay, no, I'm joking, Shelby. I'm joking. But yeah. So why do you say that's interesting? I'm a Gemini. Let's see exactly. Stephen, yeah, Stephen, man, you are the man. Thank you, thank you. So yeah. Uh, well, I guess it's coming up on an hour. Did I answer some questions or confuse the situation? Let's see the duality of number two. How interesting. Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. Yeah. So the duality of the number two. Yeah. So yeah. But number two. I mean, again, it's just there's nothing. And this is how powerful that number two is, guys. Understand that. So the number two. Let's say that you have. Excuse me. Let's say that you have a business idea, or that you came up with a business idea. Okay. In case anybody don't know, Steven is using super chat. So, guys, if y'all want to give, I definitely appreciate it, and you can just push that $sign at the bottom and just give. So I definitely appreciate it, Steven. And again, thank you very much. But the number two, to say if you got a business idea, okay, your idea is one side of it. Guys, do you know that you cannot come up with that idea if the need was not there for it? Y'all follow me? So, in other words, the idea cannot exist independent of the need. So, if you got a business idea, somebody probably needs it. That's how you can think of how duality works. Okay, that if you come up with an idea, somebody needs it. That's powerful. That is powerful. Let's see. Am I missing anything? Missing anybody? Jabari says a light bulb. What do you mean, Jabbar? So yes, Stephen, all is number. That's what the ancients said. All is number. So numbers to them weren't just about counting. It actually the number itself is the entity. Okay, the number has characteristics. So just like a number two is feminine, okay, a number three is masculine. It has characteristics. Yeah, hey, Jabbar, when I figured that out, that was powerful for me too, man. When I figured that out, that because I mean my brain is always working, but one cannot exist without the other, you know. Yes, the numbers can be activation codes, absolutely. There you go, Shelby. Your raw vegan sun fried food coaching business. Somebody needs it. You couldn't even have the idea if it was not needed. I'm telling you, it cannot exist. It cannot exist. This one aspect cannot exist alone. It's not possible in our reality. So that other part, so you got the idea. There's people over here waiting on you. So get to it. Get to it. Dr. Dennis, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I will. And we got to talk because I know we talked about you basically doing some teaching so on Kemetic centered living. So I definitely this week has just been crazy for me. I had some things happen before I could even put my class together this week. I was like doing some crazy stuff. But yeah, definitely. Cedric Taylor, how did I get my Krishante? Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. How did I get my expertise? I study and understand that this is something that part of it is I've always been a metaphysician and I've studied metaphysics for over 20 years. Okay. So the Kemetic stuff came afterwards, and I've studied the Kemetic stuff for 5 years. And but what I realized was, and also I was a school teacher for a long time, but I was a school teacher, a teacher long before then, but just naturally. But I started to recognizing connections and concepts, and that's really where it started. Light bulbs started coming on for me was when I started to recognizing the concepts and how they connected, and then how they even were connected in the Bible. Because I don't believe that our people as a whole will ever extract themselves from the Bible until they can understand the depth of it. And as long as we're fighting each other on it, it's never going to happen. Thank you, Jabbar. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Guys, I really appreciate that. Y'all don't know how much that is this what y'all are doing right now by giving. It is something that's confirmation on my journey because I basically, well, not basically, I'm really passionate about what I do here. Okay, and I really love being here and sharing with you guys. And I was a school teacher and have been for about 10 years. Well, I literally got a message. I asked for a message because I had been getting, Shelby, you had been getting those numbers, the 222 and stuff like that. Well, that's how I receive information too. But that's sometimes I go, is that really true? You know? So one of the things I did was I asked the universe because I really didn't want to go back to teaching this year. But it was like, okay, should I do it or should I not? Should I do it or should I not? So one day I asked the universe, and I usually take morning walks. And I was walking, and I said, okay, look, I said, if I'm supposed to leave my teaching job, then I need a message that I can understand. Because guys, I'm real dense sometimes. Okay, I don't get subtle hints all the time. So my guides have to talk to me. They sometimes have to cuss me out. But anyway. But so I asked the question, and I said, "This is what I need to happen in order to know that this message is truly for me." I said, if I'm supposed to quit my job and go do this teaching full time, then I want to hear the words somehow, somewhere. You quit your job, okay? So that means that if y'all ever heard of the term a celadon, a celadon is like when somebody can tell you, or you might overhear something, and it's relevant to what you were looking for. Or you might turn on the radio and then they say the words right at the time that you need it on the radio. That's what the ancients called a celadon. Okay. Well, so I'm asking, okay, if I hear those words, anywhere, TV, whatever, then I'll know that message is for me, that I'm supposed to quit my job. Well, guys, celadon is Celdon. Celdon. So later that evening, I was watching TV. I was watching a movie. And in the movie, these two ladies were talking. And then one of the ladies said, quit your job. I was like, oh. I can't believe it. And at that time, when I got that message, quit your job, guys, I follow spirit and I quit. So I've been doing. I decided that I was going to go full time doing what I'm doing, and the universe is supposed to provide for me. So this is my walk of faith in a way. So when you guys give, I really, really appreciate it because it lets me know that the universe is here and it's taking care of me. So thank you very much, Stephen, Jabbar, and all you guys that gave. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, that was confirmation. Like, I mean, it was like a body blow, man. Like I couldn't even argue against it, which is I had to be brave enough in order to follow it. Because guys, when you really take that leap like that, that's a lot of times that's when your guides are telling you to do things that go against your rational self, and you're like, no, I don't really want to do that because it might hurt. you know, I could lose everything, which I've done, guys. I've lost everything twice. You know, so but when you're talking about the spirituality of it all, sometimes you got that fork in the road, and it's like, do I go here and I can stay safe, or do I go here and kind of walk? Into the unknown and not be safe. Well, spirit is might tell you, hey, you need to walk into the unknown. That's where you got to go right now to get where you want to go and to be what you want to be. Okay. But a lot of times, and this is me, a lot of times I'm like, nah, spirit, safety is like important to me right now. So, and then spirit be like, okay, well, I'm gonna get your ass fired. So, so those are the kind of things that if you don't move the way you're supposed to, you're going to end up having life move against you, to get to where you need. So this time when it said, okay, quit your job, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I just need to take it into my own hands and I need to go. So that's what I did. But yeah, you sometimes it's not always easy in that sense to walk the spiritual walk, and faith. When I say faith, I'm not talking about like Christian faith where you believe that Jesus was real or you believe the Bible is the word of God. That's mind control. Our ancestors had an idea of faith too, where faith was really about being a bridge from it. And the Bible says it, faith is a belief in things unseen, and that's really true because you got to have the faith and the expectation that things are going to occur even when you got that gap between. So you got reality here and then you got what you want right there. Well, in between there is the faith. That's where you have to have the expectation that what you're going to have, what's supposed to occur is going to occur. And it's not a hope that is going to occur. You have to expect it. And guys, I struggle with that. I really do, because I'm one of those people as a Scorpio. Scorpios, we like to be in control. So I don't like the unknown necessarily. But in order for me to grow, I have to walk into that unknown. So, and I recognize that. So, guys, it's 111, 111. So I think this is probably a good time to let's see. It's like you told me all my life define. Yes, definitely define your life for you, by you, and have the courage to live the definition. So that's definitely one of my mantras. So define your life for you, by you, and have the courage to live the definition. Because people might not, family might not agree with you. And a lot of times they think that they're looking out for the best for you, but a lot of times family will push their limitations or their belief and limitations on you, and wanting you to live really shrunk down like they do, and that's not what it's about. So for me, I never want to live life or look back on my life and wonder what if. I don't. I say for me, I'm going to burn out rather than rust out. So when my spirit separates from this body, I'm gonna slide into wherever I am, like I'm sliding into second base and go, woo, what a ride. So I will burn out rather than rust out any day. And I will not live life through my regrets. Ever. So everything that I wanted to do, I've tried. Okay. Help this Gemini mom with her 12-year-old Scorpion son. Oh man, you got a 12-year-old Scorpion son. Oh, good luck with that. Oh, that's gonna be a hard head. He's gonna want to do things. Gonna be very strong will. But I can tell you this: the stronger the will, the greater the potential in that child. I'm telling you right now. A lot of times, what we do is our strong-willed children. We literally just squeeze the life out of them. We squeeze the leadership and stuff out of them. And those strong wills a lot of times need to be cultivated. And it's because a lot of times we don't have the confidence to deal with a strong-willed child, And I'm not saying that's you, Shelby. I'm just saying just growing up that's and he is left-handed. He's left-handed. Okay, left-handed too. But yeah, but a lot of times strong-willed children are the future leaders, and those are the people that really, when they set their mind to something, and that's one of the things that Scorpios do. When we set our mind to something, man, we're going to get it done, and we're going to turn over every single rock to get it done. So that's how the Scorpios work. But love him, Shelby. So love him where they're at. But they're moving. He's moving. He's 12 years old. Well, I have two of them that's already went through that. My daughter is both vibes, so she can tell you, man, we went through that time. But we were cool though. So we have a good relationship now. I love my daughter to death and my son. So good kids. I would not trade them in for anything. Might be some days they want to trade me in, but that's okay. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and we'll wrap it up. So, Krishante, thank you again for the donation. I didn't want to leave without saying that. So you gave another donation. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it, guys. But you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll do this again. And I guess we'll probably do it again next week. So y'all got questions as y'all go, come and ask. So I enjoy this. So it gives me a chance to just flow. It's hard for me to talk in front of a camera, but you ask me questions and I can go. Best dad in the universe. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. You're very, very kind. Very kind. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you later.